Never has a video game franchise made killing Nazis more fun than the Wolfenstein games. I mean, they are over the top, tell a crazy story, but still stay true to their core, which is probably one of the reasons Wolfenstein has been around ever since there was home gaming. Now 3 years after the latest success of Wolfenstein The New Order and its equally successful standalone DLC The Old Blood, we are crazed with Wolfenstein II The New Colossus. From what you've seen the last couple of months about this game, you might have gotten the impression that Wolfenstein II The New Colossus is going to be even crazier than the previous games. But can this game actually recapture what fans liked about The New Order and Old Blood? Hey guys, I'm Luke from Sloth, and today we take a look at Wolfenstein II The New Colossus. Is this game worth even dropping money on? Let's get right into it. Our hero BJ Blazkowicz survived the ending of the last game, which is not really a surprise even though The New Order kind of had an open ending. Blazkowicz is too badass to die anyways. Wolfenstein II is set almost directly after the events of The New Order, where we find Blazkowicz waking up on the inside of a German submarine. He's in a wheelchair though, not being able to use his legs, which is funny because the previous game Blazkowicz was brain dead for 20 years and wakes up and kills a bunch of people, but either way the game opens up with the protagonist killing Nazis in a wheelchair sometime in the 1960s. Yeah, if you haven't played the first game, this takes place in an alternate universe where the Nazis did in fact win the Second World War, and they even conquered America. Blazkowicz, however, is an American at heart and hates Nazis and is part of a resistance formed to fight back against the Nazi rulership. Without spoiling too much, this game develops the perfect balance between a serious, deep action-focused story and also sprinkles in a lot of comedy while being self-aware. If you're interested in a game that explores a what-if scenario in history that allows for you to endlessly kill everything in sight while also utilizing elements of stealth, dual wielding and just intense killing, this game might be a perfect match for you. The narrative takes plenty of twists and turns that keep you interested in the ongoing story, but also offers unique gameplay in each level that never makes the shooting and sneaking feel repetitive. While this game is linear for the most part and not open world, players still get to explore well-known places like the streets of New Orleans or Manhattan, which might look a little different than you would have expected. What is also unexpected is that the story really underlines a lot of the socio-cultural issues that society is facing today. It also evokes a mental discussion, and it's nice to see some real-world cultural context that actually makes players think, which is not what you usually get from first-person shooters. I mean, from the commercial alone, you can see Nazis and KKK members make appearances, and while these topics may seem outdated from a time period in American history, they're just as relevant now in 2017 than they were half a century ago. Well, at least for me, there's a much bigger and deeper layer to this all, but it's best if you see it for yourself. However, not only does the story feel fresh and rich in variety between comedy and seriousness, so does the gameplay. The core gameplay mechanics in The New Colossus are clearly translated from Wolfenstein The New Order, but that is far from being anything negative. Killing masses of enemies feels even more satisfying in this game, especially when doing so with new weapons like the diesel-powered grenade launcher. Yeah, that's a thing. The developers at Machine Games didn't just simply copy and paste the gameplay from The New Order, they tweaked the hell out of it. Sure, it isn't a full overhaul to the mechanics, but why fix something that isn't broken? In every level there's tons of ways to get around or to your enemies and finish them off in various different ways. Sure, Wolfenstein 2 might lack the open world that is familiar in some Bethesda games, but they did a good job at hiding that the game is linear for the most part. You can fully make it feel like an open world game, but nevertheless there's a certain freedom that the game gives you that is really charming. Wolfenstein 2 takes about 18 hours to fully play through, and that is pretty good for a first-person game with only a single player in 2017. Sure, a co-op mode would have been welcome, or some sort of additional gameplay that would extend the playtime of the game, like a horde mode could have been nice, but at least there's various difficulties you can play for replay value. Wolfenstein could be considered one of the last big single-player only games, and that with good reason. While big gaming companies like Electronic Arts or Activision are the furthest away from creating a game without a multiplayer component they've ever been, Wolfenstein 2 perfectly shows that it can still work in this day and age. One of the writers from the game said, "The only way we can create these super immersive narrative experiences is if we can solely focus on the single player. Having a multiplayer component in this work process would just dilute it all. That's the danger if you try to do two things at once." Wolfenstein II The New Colossus is more about being a playable action-adventure rather than just being a first-person shooter. Of course, the core gameplay is still about shooting guns and killing Nazis, but the presentation, the setting, the characters and the crazy story really really make it a fun experience all around. So would I recommend you Wolfenstein II: The New Colossus? Well, if you're a Wolfenstein fan and played the previous games, then obviously you need to pick up this game. But if you're still unfamiliar with the franchise and not quite sure if this game is for you, then I would say play the New Order first, since it's cheaper and it doesn't feel that much different, which is not a bad thing. Overall, if you really enjoyed Wolfenstein: The New Order, this game is a must-buy, especially because you can find it at some stores for only $40. If you are unsure or there are other games you want to get at this point, I predict this game will go on sale for like 20 or 30 bucks within the next year, so you can wait. But definitely put this on your list of must-play games. Thanks for watching this video, we hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of our review on Wolfenstein 2. And make sure to subscribe to the Rocket Sloth channel, it helps out a ton. This is a good game, this is worth some money.